Restore It Ralph channel. Busy week of work and play with my Hemi Dart and other projects.
Important meeting at work. Drive the Hemi Dart.
This is my 1969 Dodge Dart Swinger. It was a 340 Swinger car that I got with no engine or transmission, and it now has a 5.7 Hemi out of like an 05 Durango in it. Comp cam in it, fiberglass front end, liftoff fiberglass hood, liftoff fiberglass trunk. This thing's around 2,900 pounds, so this thing is a riot to drive, especially since it's a 5-speed manual. Under the hood is a 5.7 Hemi. It is the early 03 to 08 style truck engine, 345 horse stock. This one now has a comp cam, kind of small cam, but nice and choppy. This thing runs pretty good. This is the second engine I've had in it. They've both been low buck, kind of home rebuilds. So really happy with this one. This thing runs really good. It is a tight fit. So if you're doing a Gen 3 Hemi in an A-body, it is tight. Today I'm going to focus on trying to get the gas gauge to work. The sending unit, I believe, has stopped working. I've done some electrical tests, and the gauge and the wiring is fine. So start working on that. Brand new tank, new pump, all kinds of good stuff there, but the sending unit has quit working, and I've taken this wire off and put it to ground, and the gauge goes to full. So I know it's not a wiring issue. It is definitely the sender. It's either the electrical part of the sender, or maybe the float is waterlogged or even fell off the arm. But either way, I got to pull it out to see what's going on. Part of the problem with having a bad fuel gauge is I don't know how much gas is in this. So I drove it to work, which is a 62-mile round trip. I haven't put gas in it in a very long time, so I'm hoping that I won't have too much of a mess when I take this ring off. I have a bucket underneath here to catch some fuel, and hopefully it's not as full as it could be. All right, so this is the float, and I'm going to try and shake it around here and see if you can hear it. That thing is full of gasoline. So it is a sunk float, and so the sending unit itself might actually be okay. It's just the float on the end of it. Well, I've got two sending units here. The one that I've already modified, and the brand new one that I bought. And I actually just popped the float off of the new one and put it onto my old sending unit. It always worked. Some of these newer ones aren't as accurate, and I've already modified this one. This used to be the fuel feed. I've got it pinched off and everything because of the electric intake pump. So rather than smash another one up, I'm just going to trade the floats and see if that fixes it. All right, got the old sender with the new float back in. You can see something that I always do on a fuel sender install is I use the original tank lock ring. They are just a little bit thicker than the replacement ones that you get, and I've been burned a couple times where they'll seep fuel around the ring and just not holding it tight enough. So using that, and we'll see what it does. Here we are, it's at rest point. We'll turn on the ignition and see what it does. It was going down to about 1/8 of a tank before. All right, looks better. I think we'll get this thing off the jack stand and set it level and see what it says. Okay, just about half a tank is what it's reading. I'm not sure, that might be a little optimistic, but that might be right on. So if I look at the original tank that I haven't hauled the scrapyard yet, you can see that my sending unit is just about halfway up the side of the tank. And the way I had the car jacked up, it was kind of putting all the fuel to the driver's side here. So I think my fuel gauge might be pretty accurate. It wouldn't be good practice to do a repair without verifying that it's fixed, so it's time for a test drive. putting fuel in it. The gas gauge is working. Put my hand up on there and it feels dry as a bone. So we don't have any leaks. The fuel gauge is back to working. I can start driving this thing more often. It stopped working, or the fuel gauge stopped working last fall. So I don't feel super comfortable driving on long treks without a gauge. So glad to have that back working. This is a pretty bare bones car inside, partially because I wanted to keep it light. So I do have a headliner I do want to install on the car. Maybe that'll be a future video. I've got late model Dodge Dakota bucket seats in here, dash pad delete, a tack and air fuel ratio mount that mimics kind of the original 68 Hemi Dart stuff, and pretty much a bare bones interior. I'd like to remake the aluminum cluster. I got it crooked and I hate it, and so I've got some aluminum and some pieces, so I'm going to be doing that soon as well. One of my favorite parts on this car is the window regulator delete. So I do not have crank windows on this car. Much like the 68 Dodge Hemi Darts and Barracudas, they had basically just seatbelt material, and you would unsnap it, pull the window up, and then I snap it down there. So not a lot of weight savings. I think I measured it and it was like 9 pounds of savings, but dimes make dollars. If the owner won't lose weight, the car must. This thing's been on a diet and it has worked. Son's using his cleaning supplies. I think he waxed the hood and juiced the tires, so this thing will be ready for its next winter duties, unless we decide to make it fast. My son's been cleaning up this thing and restoring the interior. He actually popped these little vents out and repainted the silver chrome that was worn off of there with his model paint. So nice little restoration project. This thing, I wish it was a Hemi Cuda in this condition, because it's pretty decent. After putting 4,000 miles on this car as a winter beater, this truck seemed really quick. After driving these two cars this spring, the last couple days, it makes my little red truck seem immensely slower. Maybe that needs some upgrades. Nice warm temperatures today. It was a beautiful day. Should have been doing body work. Didn't touch it because I didn't feel like it. That's all right, it'll get it soon. My son is out here removing the carburetor from his 1968 Swisher Ride King. It must be plugged up, it's not running real great. This thing's kind of neat. It's a front wheel drive zero turn, and in order to turn around or go in reverse, you just basically turn the steering wheel and it drives the wheel the other way. So kind of slick, kind of neat little thing. We got the blades working on it. Is it practical? Probably not, but it's kind of cool. That's going to do it for this Easter Sunday video. Was able to drive the Dart around and fix the gas gauge on it and enjoy the car a little bit and enjoy this beautiful weather we're having. Got a lot done today. Not really. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, thanks for watching.